What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Show back with another video, and I'm gonna be honest. I'm a little scared, man. I haven't seen no Tenkaichi 4 gameplay. Obviously, we're talking about Tenkaichi as 4 was announced, a while ago, and my hopes were that this game was gonna come out. Let's just be honest with ourselves. So, with that being said, though, instead of doing like a wish list video, I'm just gonna specifically talk about some things. Specifically, just talk about some things that I don't know, I feel like we should see, or things I don't want to see, because like I said, it's announced, but we don't really know much about it. With that being said, let's get into what we know already. Now, among the announcements for the 2023 Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour, a show I really never watched, but glad I watched it this time, one title pretty much took the case. Now, they announced they were going to be releasing Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 4. And this series has been dead for like over a decade. This has been a dead series for a long time. Honestly, this is something that people really just wouldn't even expect. And I'm being dead serious. I don't know really any game that has come back. I mean, besides maybe like something like Kingdom Hearts. And that's probably a lot of games. In terms of anime games, that's really rare. When they're done with like a particular series, they're pretty much done. Tenkaichi is like one of the long line of PS2 based games. Now, obviously, Tenkaichi 3 was on like the Wii, and it was on like a lot of different systems. But this is like the latest in a very long line of games coming from that era, which in itself is actually very impressive, because Dragon Ball Z had like a lot of different franchises. They had the Legacy of Goku, wasn't on PS2. I'm just talking about some of the series I can really remember. They had the Legacy of Goku. They had the Budokai 3, and when I mean series, I mean they had these games in multiple different, like they had multiple different sequels. And then Tenkaichi franchise was like Tenkaichi 1, 2, and 3. Obviously, me personally, Tenkaichi 2 is my favorite, and it will always be my favorite. But I can see why people like Tenkaichi 3 because of the amount of characters that it has. But Tenkaichi 3 was a good game, and specifically the reason why those are really good games, and the reason why I feel like Dragon Ball Z creators are finally listening to us, because a lot of people were saying that they would actually love a remastered version of Tenkaichi. And I'm gonna be honest with you, even though the Tenkaichi 4 is coming out, I would for sure actually still buy a remastered version of Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi. Like there was like maybe like a combo pack or something. I would definitely buy that for sure. Just like remaster it, give me like nice little visuals and stuff. But instead they actually gave us a fourth one, which is actually great, because with the fourth one we'll be able to play with super characters. Now obviously Tenkaichi 3 has been modded to death by this point, and you can already do that. You can already run characters like that, so that's not really an issue. But it actually just makes it a little bit better, considering that now we get actual support for new super characters and stuff. There's no mod needed. It'll be able to play on every console and stuff. I'm actually curious to how they're gonna do this though, because they also have a game called Ultimate Tenkaichi, which was not that great. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you haven't seen it, it's a really weird Dragon Ball Z game. The fighting was weird. They was the first ones to really include character creation, so it's basically like a little test for what Xenoverse would become. I'm glad that they actually went ahead with character creation. I think that's a very important aspect in the Dragon Ball show and the Dragon Ball game, because it gives you a little bit of freedom to play with the moves that you love, the iconic moves from Dragon Ball, while having your own little spin on things. But it doesn't change the fact that Ultimate Tenkaichi was trash. Ultimate Tenkaichi was garbage. And while I can't specifically say that Ultimate Tenkaichi was like in that particular line of games, because I think it might have had a different developer. I'm hoping they had a different developer. If you guys don't know, the main actual Dragon Ball Tenkaichi games are developed by Spike Chunsoft, and they're published by Bando. I like to call them Bando, not Bandai. The cool thing about it is that, they even had a tag game, which I think could actually play a lot of important element in this particular game. Simply because Tenkaichi Tag was on PS at the time, so, it really couldn't get the recognition that it needed. It was a cool game, going around and kind of fighting with a partner and stuff, and Tenkaichi was wild and kind of unthought of. You don't really get those big area battles until Xenoverse comes out. Everything about the game was just, the story mode for 2 was probably one of my favorite story modes of any game. I love Tenkaichi 2 because of the story mode. That is the only game to date, Dragon Ball Z game, that I have played on it's from an older system, and I've played it all the way through. The only one, I haven't beat Budokai 3, Budokai 2, none of that. That is the only Dragon Ball Z game that I have played and enjoyed thoroughly, all the way through. Tenkaichi 2. Tenkaichi 3 is cool, and it can be used for a little bit of content, but it's not nothing to write home about. I mean, at least from my standpoint, like it's a really great game, a lot of characters like that. But honestly, I would have rather had the Tenkaichi tag team. Now, throughout all the Tenkaichi games, each of them kind of brought like different stuff to the table. They may have like an ultimate battle mode and stuff, and this is stuff I don't really see in these newer games. Because the newer games are more focused around like online play. I really love the little side modes. Even the card warriors from Kakarot, I thought was cool. You know what I'm saying? Like I love the ability to kind of just go and do tournaments and stuff, and have tournaments actually matter, because they did really matter in that game. Now these are all things I really do love about Tenkaichi as a whole. But let's be honest. Are you scared for Tenkaichi 4? Like scared to see what the modern take on a Tenkaichi game would be? And when I say modern take, I basically mean microtransactions. Could you imagine like paying for those characters back in the day? Like they gave us like a whole bunch of characters in Tenkaichi 3. Could you imagine having to pay $5 for you? It would just take the enjoyment out the game. But with that being said, guys, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next.